This is an Andy's Randomness special. This is an Andy's Randomness special report. Reporting now, Andy Pollock.
Good morning, everyone. We are waiting once again to hear from New York Governor Andrew Mark Cuomo for his daily COVID-19 briefing, but we have more breaking news this morning. I want to quickly bring this up before we get started. Bernie Sanders has officially dropped out of the 2020 United States presidential race. Therefore, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is officially the presumptive Democratic nominee. So therefore, in August, he will have enough delegates to become the party's nominee. This is just breaking. Multiple sources have confirmed that Bernie Sanders has in fact dropped out of the race. So let's go now to my window capture and I will take you to this very quickly. So here we go. Joe Biden should be smiling right now. Okay, here we go. Brief thing. Bernie Sanders ended his presidential campaign today on Wednesday, April 8th. X off the calendar. Pretty much now it clears the path for Joe Biden to win the nomination. So this most likely means that on November 3rd, the election will be Joe Biden representing the Democrats and Donald Trump representing the Republicans. So there you have it. So no more primaries are needed. The only thing I have to worry about now in June is Queensboro presidents. So that is very good news. I'm very glad that once again, democratic capitalism wins! Where's the kids? Yay, we gotta put them in here, man. Democratic capitalism! Bye-bye, Bernie Sanders! Bye-bye, socialist! Woo! So that means no matter what, we're guaranteed 4 more years of a capitalist in the White House. Thank goodness. This is a big sigh of relief. Either it's Trump or Biden, we're still guaranteed capitalism. Alright, so we're waiting now for Cuomo, who's another capitalist, by the way. And let's put me back up for a second. Whoop, too big. Yeah, I'm just putting on the sound. So, we're waiting right now to see if, the man himself, Mr. New Yorkers Lefty, will be coming on here. I'm assuming he will. Yeah, I gotta let Joy Chung know I'm live right now. Yeah, let me share the stream. Good idea. Thank you. Thank you. I'll share it right now. Because, Cuomo will be coming out any moment. Let's see, I'm having a problem getting the thumbnail on. That's so odd. Nah, it doesn't matter. Let me just share to my YouTube, my Facebook page, and then we'll be good. So, if you didn't hear yesterday, the big announcement from New Jersey was they're closing their state parks from Phil Murphy. So we will watch that video later on in the stream from CBS New York, because I know they had a video on their YouTube channel yesterday. So I am expecting that to happen today. Now, if they close the parks, that's one thing. But if they close the supermarkets, then you're going to hear me rant. Because I had so many... Think about it. I have so many memories in the supermarket. As a kid, teenage years. I have so many memories. I'll be upset if the supermarket closes. Hi, Joy Jung. Thank you for joining. See, I really gotta think of making him a mod. Let's see. Does he have a YouTube channel? Let's see. Oh, good. Now he is a mod. So I can add him from here. Cool. So I know he always shows up. Cause now, like, he's qualified for the super van, so we have a new mod. Good. So, Joy Jung, we're waiting for Cuomo to speak. If you're just joining... Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the presidential race, so Joe Biden is officially the presumptive Democratic nominee. Thus, this means we will have 4 more years of a capitalist in the White House, which I'm very happy about that. Even though I don't want Trump, still guarantees one thing: no socialism for at least 4 more years. See, I knew someone's happy about that. You know, I have a theory Biden's gonna pick Cuomo as his running mate. See, if Cuomo's not gonna be the nominee, there's a possibility you could see a Biden-Cuomo ticket. I think it could happen. I really think we could have a Joe Biden-Andrew Cuomo ticket. I would not rule that out because I think the country would vote for that. Cuomo could easily convince the Rust Belt, I think. Yeah, all my news apps are blowing up about Biden because Jason Anthony, who is a mod to this channel, well, again, here's what my friends don't realize is that Bernie Sanders is a socialist, you know? It's a radical left commie. Biden's a capitalist. So, look at it this way. Cuomo's a capitalist. It works out if you have the two on the same ticket. And God forbid something happens to Biden. Cuomo's only in his early 60s. Cuomo looks very healthy, by the way. And I'll mention this about Andrew Cuomo. He doesn't even look like he's 60. He looks like he's in his 50s still. He looks exactly like he's in his early to mid 50s. And he looks great for physical purposes. Unlike Biden, who's skinny enough and he falls asleep, but still. I'm in a gleeful mood right now. Just saying. So, as always, Andrew Cuomo is late again. He was supposed to speak at 11:30. So he is right now MIA. So while I do that, I'm going to see if I can load the YouTube video for later. And I'm also going to try to get prison style workout, LOL. That's funny. That is just too funny. Yeah, I know. The bozos spoke. Why aren't I surprised? The mayor of Patterson tested positive. Oh boy. That is not a good sign. Yeah, so I'm trying to see if I can get the YouTube
Let's kick things off here in New York.
Because there was a YouTube video from this morning. There we go. So now we'll have that up. And then I need News 12 Long Island up just in case, because lately with News 12 Long Island, and this is what I've been noticing, is that if you have the ads on and you have the News 12, I don't know, should I go with News 12 Long Island's feed so that way if Laura Curran is speaking, because she might be speaking, so I might want to be prepared. Folks, hang on. I'm going to see if I can get News 12 Long Island on. Because if we get News 12 Long Island on, then they might show Cuomo. And then, if Laura Curran is live from Mineola, then my viewers in Nassau can see her. And then there's a chance that maybe we'll hear from Steve Ballone out in Hop Hog today. Because Hop Hog is where Steve Ballone's office is, of course. I know where it is. It's on Vets Highway. So This is interesting. So Nassau County Police are going to be tested today for COVID. That's interesting. Now, if they're testing officers in Nassau, is it going to be rapid testing? Because if that's the case, then I completely agree. The police officers should get tested first. No question about it. So I'm just going to see if I can get News 12 Long Island on right now. Because then if I can put that... Because I'm thinking, they have to show Cuomo. They have to show Cuomo, because they have an obligation to. Because then if I'm going to put the News 12 Long Island feed on, then again, if they break in and show Laura Curran, I can keep that feed on. And then if they show Steve Malone, then I can keep the feed on. Because de Blasio just addressed the city at 9:30, which I'm not going to show him. He's on every network in the city. Except Channel 5, which Channel 5 was airing regular programming today. Okay, why am I having a problem loading News 12 Long Island? Oh, here we go. Okay, now I have News 12 Long Island. So let me turn it off. Oh, Rich Hoffman's doing the weather right now. Let me put him on for a second. I like Rich Hoffman. Everybody knows that about me.
The weather improving as we go throughout the rest of our day. What you're going to notice,
let me turn off the Wi-Fi into
which is at
my phone. That might slow down the internet.
And we'll have some breaks of clouds.
I'll stick on LTE. Now, just for fun, I'll check to see how much LTE I have this month.
Skies once again into tomorrow. So some breaks of sunshine.
I like this Boost Mobile thing.
Overall, a pretty decent afternoon with the clouds, but generally dry.
I used 3 gigabytes this month. Funny.
So temperatures will be in the 50s out over the east end. We're near 60 for the rest of the island. Some sunny breaks develop during the late afternoon. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures are in the 40s. And then here's that 7-day forecast. Watching rain tomorrow afternoon. We're looking okay Friday, maybe a chance of a shower. Dry Saturday, and then showers towards Sunday evening. Most of it Easter Sunday.
At News 12, we're keeping you informed on the coronavirus pandemic with a nightly special featuring advice from local medical experts. We are keeping you connected.
So this is interesting. News 12 Long Island airs a nightly special on coronavirus. That's interesting. Very interesting. Because obviously, again, if Laura Curran is speaking, if I do leave the air, I could always just upload it and then you guys can watch that way later on. Because again, Andrew Cuomo is running late. I have no idea where he is. I'm looking at the feed again and it just says, oh, okay, text New York to 81336. Okay, I'm going to text that. Yeah, I'll show you it, guys, just very quickly what I'm looking at right now. So, as you can see here, this is what it shows me. So, I'm going to text it, 81336. And then text capital letters, New York. All caps. So, I might as well, because I'll have to update the description, I guess. Yeah, I can always update the description. You know, I can do it. I can do it on my cell phone. That's the best part about this thing. Okay. So let me just see if I can update the description. Text New York to 81336 NYS updates. Okay, there we go. I just want to make sure I'm still live. Okay, there we go. So again, it's 11:43, and we still have no idea where Andrew Cuomo is. So I'll make me bigger so Whoa, okay, we don't want that. No. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, minor technical difficulty there. I do apologize. So again, we are just waiting for Mr. New Yorkers Love Me, which, if New Yorkers love him, then why is he running late? Okay, can I keep the volume low and just show you the video I want to show you guys? Yeah, might as well. Okay, so I want to play you this video very quickly. So here's a video from CBS New York of New Jersey shutting down all their parks. So we'll play it if it'll even show up in my full screen counter. Here we
Let's
go.
kick things off here in New Jersey with our coverage this morning. Again, Garden Staters just not getting the message. How this is possible, I have no idea. Governor Murphy now closing all state and county parks, basically saying that people are blatantly ignoring social distancing guidelines. CBS News' John Diaz with more on what the Garden State can do.
Yeah, good morning. As the death toll continues to rise across New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy has now closed all schools indefinitely during this pandemic. He has also waived standardized testing for the year and says that graduation ceremonies may also be canceled.
If you're looking to get some fresh air in New Jersey, you're urged to keep it close to home.
Take a walk or bike ride in your neighborhood or at a park in your town that is open.
Governor Murphy closed county and state parks. As for local parks, that's up to municipalities. But local leaders say it's not just parks that are a problem.
You're going to face criminal consequences if you violate these orders by having parties, by having social gatherings, by keeping businesses open.
The New Jersey Attorney General says more than 1,000 summonses have been issued. It's zero tolerance, and he'll even go after liquor license.
A bar in Warren County that decided to ignore our pleas the first time, and then we charge them a second time with the disorderly persons violation. Well, guess what? Now we're going to come after your license, and that's going to have a real effect in your pocketbooks.
This comes as New Jersey marks another 232 deaths from the virus, bringing the total to more than 1,200. Nursing homes in the state are particularly hard hit. In Elizabeth, the mayor says 12 people died from the coronavirus at the Elizabeth.
Alright, so once again, that was from New Jersey. So let's get my New Jersey soundbite on.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah, so I'm just keeping an eye on News 12 Long Island because I'm hoping that they're going to show Cuomo. Because again, if they're showing Cuomo, then I know if Laura Curran's coming on the air, we can do a multi-screen of News 12 Long Island and then show you Laura Curran live. Let me just see if I can find like an article or something. Closes parks. Let's see if I can find it. No, I ought to go with NJ.com. They're more reliable. So they have a list of all the parks that are closed. I just lost it. Ah, okay. Here we go. There's two articles I can pull up while we wait for Andrew Cuomo to come out. Which again, Where is Andrew Cuomo? Andrew Cuomo, where are you? I know. Where is he? Hey, Advanced Player is here. One of our other mods. Yay. See, we got people joining late. See, he's late too. He's late. Okay, I have the list of the parks in New Jersey. Or, as it said,
New Jersey.
There we go. Hey, hang on here. Whoa. Not loud enough. There we go.
New Jersey.
Excellent. New Jersey. I just can't. So look, here are all the parks in New Jersey that are closed. So it says, all state and county parks and forests in New Jersey. New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Are closed. And effective closed immediately due to the coronavirus outbreak. We've seen too many instances where people have gathered in groups in parks effortlessly thinking that they are outside. Social distancing doesn't matter. Nothing can be further from the truth. Okay, decisions to whether local town parks may remain open will be left to municipalities. Okay. So right now they keep saying now the new peak is sometime between April 19th and May 11th. And Phil Murphy says there's a possibility that effects of the pandemic will go into the summer months. So that is not a good sign. Okay, we have a list of the parks that are closed over here. Now look at that, see? All of these parks are closed. Amazing. I mean, I wish I could update the description as I go along here, but... Well, let's hang on. Could I maybe update the description? Oh, I can! Oh, I can! Look, see? I can update this live. List of NJ parks closed. Look at that. I can actually update this on the fly. This is so cool. See, I can update this. Watch, you guys should be seeing it right now. See, this is amazing, this thing. So, there you have it. New Jersey parks are closed. And meanwhile, look what News 12 Long Island's showing. They're showing Mr. Chuck Schumer, the man who screwed us during the stimulus package, according to Andrew Lee. Oh, look at this. News 12 Long Island's frozen right now. I mean, I don't know, folks. Maybe I could just replay News 12 Long Island after. I could just bookmark it and then put it in a new tab, I guess. That way I don't have to search for it, but at least I can keep this feed on. Breaking news, folks! Bernie Sanders is about to give remarks. Let's see if I can play that in the meantime. If Cuomo's not coming out, we can always get into that. Let's see, can I find it? No, that wouldn't help me. Oh, Biden's having a virtual town hall today at 5:30. See if I can find it. Okay, we are about to go live to...
Hundreds of thousands of Americans who attended our rallies, town meetings, and house parties from New York to California. Some of these events had over 25,000 people, some had a few hundred, and some had a dozen.
Whoa, okay, folks. Hang on. So we're going to have to play two feeds. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I have it right now, so don't worry about that. Don't worry. We are going to find it now. Look how shriveled up he is. My mom says he's all shriveled up. I wonder my mom is right. Ah. Hello there. I'm Bernie Sanders. Okay, let's go live to Bernie Sanders. Well, on tape delay, but we will be watching him.
A group of people, about a dozen, who attended our rally. What you've done. As many of you will recall, Nelson Mandela averaging $18.50 a donation. I want to thank those who phone banked for our campaign and those of you who sent out millions of texts. And I want to thank the many hundreds of thousands of Americans who attended our rallies, town meetings, and house parties from New York to California. Some of these events had over 25,000 people, some had a few hundred, and some had a dozen, but all were important. And let me thank those who made these many events possible. I also want to thank our surrogates, too many to name. I can't imagine that any candidate has ever been blessed with a stronger and more dedicated group of people who have taken our message to every part of this country. And I want to thank all of those who made the music and the art an integral part of our campaign. I want to thank all of you who spoke to your friends and neighbors, posted on social media, and worked as hard as you could to make this a better country. Together, we have transformed American consciousness as to what kind of nation we can become, and have taken this country a major step forward in the never-ending struggle for economic justice, social justice, racial justice, and environmental justice. I also want to thank the many hundreds of people on our campaign staff. You were willing to move from one state to another and do all the work that had to be done. No job was too big or too small for you. You rolled up your sleeves and you did it. You embodied the words that are at the core of our movement, not me, but us. And I thank each and every one of you for what you've done. As many of you will recall, Nelson Mandela, one of the great freedom fighters in modern world history, famously said, and I quote, "It always seems impossible until it is done," end quote. And what he meant by that is that the greatest obstacle to real social change has everything to do with the power of the corporate and political establishment to limit our vision as to what is possible and what we are entitled to as human beings. If we don't believe that we are entitled to health care as a human right, we will never achieve universal health care. If we don't believe that we are entitled to decent wages and working conditions, millions of us will continue to live in poverty. If we don't believe that we are entitled to all of the education we require to fulfill our dreams, many of us will leave school saddled with huge debt or never get the education we need. If we don't believe that we are entitled to live in a world that has a clean environment and is not ravaged by climate change, we will continue to see more drought, floods, rising sea levels, and increasingly uninhabitable planet. If we don't believe that we are entitled to live in a world of justice, democracy, and fairness without racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, or religious bigotry, we will continue to have massive income and wealth inequality, prejudice and hatred, mass incarceration, terrified immigrants, and hundreds of thousands of Americans sleeping out on the streets in the richest country on earth. And focusing on that new vision for America is what our campaign has been about and what, in fact, we have accomplished. Few would deny that over the course of the past 5 years, our movement has won the ideological struggle. In so-called red states and blue states and purple states, a majority of the American people now understand that we must raise the minimum wage to at least $15 an hour, that we must guarantee health care as a right to all of our people, that we must transform our energy system away from fossil fuel, and that higher education must be available to all, regardless of income. It was not long ago that people considered these ideas radical and fringe. Today, they are mainstream ideas, and many of them are already being implemented in cities and states across the country. That is what we have accomplished together. In terms of healthcare, even before this horrific pandemic we are now experiencing, more and more Americans understood that we must move to a Medicare for all single-payer program. During the primary elections, exit polls showed in state after state a strong majority of Democratic primary voters supported a single government health insurance program to replace private insurance. That was true even in states where our campaign did not prevail. And let me just say this. In terms of healthcare, this current horrific crisis that we are now in has exposed for all to see how absurd our current employer-based health insurance system is. The current economic downturn we are experiencing has not only led to a massive loss of jobs, but has also resulted in millions of Americans losing their health insurance. While Americans have been told over and over again how wonderful our employer-based private insurance system is, those claims sound very hollow today as a growing number of unemployed workers struggle with how they can afford to go to the doctor or not go bankrupt with a huge hospital bill. We have always believed that healthcare must be considered as a human right, not an employee benefit, and we are right. Please also appreciate that not only are we winning the struggle ideologically, we are also winning it generationally. The future of our country rests with young people. And in state after state, whether we won or whether we lost, the Democratic primaries or caucuses, we received a significant majority of the votes, sometimes an overwhelming majority, from people not only 30 years of age or under, but 50 years of age or younger. In other words, the future of this country is with our ideas. As we are all painfully aware, we now face an unprecedented crisis. Not only are we dealing with a coronavirus pandemic, which is taking the lives of many thousands of our people, we are also dealing with an economic
Hang on, folks. We are experiencing technical difficulties. I do apologize. We're gonna have to go to Plan B and just go to my display capture. Okay. I just noticed that. So let's see if I can get it back.
meltdown that has resulted in the loss of millions of jobs. Today, families all across our country face financial hardship unimaginable only a few months ago. And because of the unacceptable levels of income and wealth inequality in our economy, many of our friends and neighbors have little or no savings and are desperately trying to pay their rent or their mortgage or even put food on the table. This reality makes it clear to me that Congress must address this unprecedented crisis in an unprecedented way that protects the health and economic well-being of the working families of our country, not just powerful special interests. As a member of the Democratic leadership in the United States Senate, and as a senator from the state of Vermont, this is something that I intend to intensely be involved in over the next number of months, and that will require an enormous amount of work. Which takes me to the state of our presidential campaign. I wish I could give you better news, but I think you know the truth. And that is that we are now some 300 delegates behind Vice President Biden, and the path toward victory is virtually impossible. So while we are winning the ideological battle, and while we are winning the support of so many young people and working people throughout the country, I have concluded that this battle for the Democratic nomination will not be successful. And so today, I am announcing the suspension of my campaign. Please know that I do not make this decision lightly. In fact, it has been a very difficult and painful decision. Over the past few weeks, Jane and I, in consultation with top staff and many of our prominent supporters, have made an honest assessment of the prospects for victory. If I believed we had a feasible path to the nomination, I would certainly continue the campaign. But it's just not there. I know that there may be some in our movement who disagree with this decision, who would like us to fight on to the last ballot cast at the Democratic Convention. I understand that position. But as I see the crisis gripping the nation, exacerbated by a president unwilling or unable to provide any kind of credible leadership, and the work that needs to be done to protect people in this most desperate hour, I cannot, in good conscience, continue to mount a campaign that cannot win and which would interfere with the important work required of all of us in this difficult hour. But let me say this very emphatically. As you all know, we have never been just a campaign. We are a grassroots, multiracial, multi-generational movement which has always believed that real change never comes from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up. We have taken on Wall Street, the insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex, and the greed of the entire corporate elite. That struggle continues. While this campaign is coming to an end, our movement is not. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminded us that, quote, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice, end quote. The fight for justice is what our campaign has been about. The fight for justice is what our movement remains about. Today, I congratulate Joe Biden, a very decent man, who I will work with to move our progressive ideas forward. On a practical note, let me also say this. I will stay on the ballot in all remaining states and continue to gather delegates. While Vice President Biden will be the nominee, we must continue working to assemble as many delegates as possible at the Democratic Convention, where we will be able to exert significant influence over the party platform and other functions. Then together, standing united, we will go forward to defeat Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in modern American history. And we will fight to elect strong progressives at every level of government, from Congress to the school board. As I hope all of you know, this race has never been about me. I ran for the presidency because I believed that as a president, I could accelerate and institutionalize the progressive changes that we are all building together. And if we keep organizing and fighting, I have no doubt but that is exactly what will happen. While the path may be slower now, we will change this nation and, with like-minded friends around the globe, change the entire world. On a very personal note, speaking for Jane, myself, and our entire family, we will always carry in our hearts the memory of the extraordinary people we have met across this country. We often hear about the beauty of America, and this country is incredibly beautiful. But to me, the beauty I will remember most is in the faces of the people we have met from one corner of this nation to the other. The compassion, love, and decency I have seen in them makes me so hopeful for our future. It also makes me more determined than ever to work to create a nation that reflects those values and lifts up all of our people. Please stay in this fight with me. Let us go forward together. The struggle continues. Thank you all very much.
Alright, so, once again, that was Bernie Sanders. That's how you're supposed to say his name. Bernie Sanders. But, yeah. So, there you have it. 4 more years of a capitalist in the White House is guaranteed now. Let's hope and pray it happens, but now the only issue is going to be is that, again, we have to wait until June now for the Democrats to have their convention, which would be a week before the Republicans do, and then obviously Trump goes on the brag fest. It's going to be a long process, but the election's going to be in less than 6 months, so let's hope he can beat this virus so we can all vote in November. As was what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I'm gonna turn that off. I hope not. I hope not, Advanced Player. I really hope not. Because if that happens, I don't know. I mean, does he still have a chance to win the Rust Belt? That's a good question for Biden. But at least Buttigieg did the right thing and endorsed Biden. So I don't get it, folks. Cuomo now is 40 minutes late. Minutes. Where is Mr. New Yorker's flatmate when you need him? You know, the governor's been fashionably late, but now he's 40 minutes late. Yeah, if I go into the camera that big, then we get a problem. Alright, folks, I'm gonna be right back. So, stand by. I have to take care of things. But I'll be near the computer in case Cuomo comes out. Alright, folks, I'm back. So, we just got an update from Cuomo Corruption on Twitter. And he just mentioned something. Let's just go here for a second. Oh, okay, here we go. So the update is he will now be speaking at 12:30. But, I just got this breaking news story from the New York Post that's kind of urgent and we kind of do need to get to. 3 violent. That's the one negative thing this governor has done is this bail reform. I'm openly going to say that right now. So, yeah, here we go. It says, Bronx judge orders 3 violent inmates. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to share 2 articles, so I guess we'll read a couple things while we wait for Mr. New Yorkers Love Me to come out. So, might as well get the 2 videos while we wait. Read some news stories. Okay, on Twitter you can follow me at Andy's Randomness. I do respond to DMs on Instagram. So just for the record. See, Trump came out. Can't see AOC plus 3 supporting Sleepy Joe. Okay, so that's the tweet Cuomo gave out. That's the one. So I'll just update everybody on Twitter. If they can't watch the live stream or just, don't want to watch right now, I guess. Alright, so we're going to read 2 articles. And, we have enough time, I might play a video from YouTube that I, have found interesting. I will mention there's a video on YouTube that shows the original Honeymooners plot. So we'll get to this story first because this is kind of urgent. So let me just lower the sound for a second. Yeah, because we're not expecting Cuomo to come out till at least 12:30. So, we're going to read these 2 stories. Shocking video. I do apologize, folks. I know you're on phones. Some of you. Not a good time. What?
Always is not a good time. You heard about baseball starting up possibly
in May.
Arizona?
I know.
No, you don't know this. The players are pissed off. One of them said, that's a desert. Nothing lives out there. Everything dies. They don't want to go. And the other one said that they don't want to be away from their family. Family is where their team plays. So I think Phoenix is not a good place. What do you think?
We'll see what happens. Sorry about that. Okay, a man wearing a medical mask was caught on camera sucker punching an NYPD officer in the Bronx Tuesday night as the cop's partner was subduing a robbery suspect. Nelson Jimenez, 31-year-old male, launched his attack in front of a crowd of bystanders who had gathered on a sidewalk near 183rd Street and Davidson Avenue in University Heights to watch the arrest of a 27-year-old robbery suspect named Yoemini Castro. One cop in the video can be seen holding Castro to the ground while another stands nearby. During the episode, Jimenez walks behind the standing officer and socks him in the head, knocking off his winter cap. The officer who was struck immediately turns around and fires his taser, but it's unclear if it struck Jimenez. Jimenez then runs away while the cop closes behind the video shown. Spectators heard cheering on the suspect and telling the suspect to run. Officers thankfully caught the suspect in a nearby bodega. law enforcement sources said. Charges against him are pending. Charges against him are pending? Well, obviously the first charge should be assaulting a police officer. That's a felony. Unbelievable. Dummies. Second cop responsible to the fracas, can't even read this word, was also punched in the head in an off-camera incident. The suspect in the assault, Brandon Isom, 25, was arrested and charged with assault and obstructing government administration. Yeah, but I'm 100% sure assaulting a police officer is a felony. So let's just turn off the captions, because I'm going to warn you right now, this video may have explicit language. So we're going to watch the video right now.
Oh, that's for a bag of weed. I'm recording this.
Yeah, they shot him.
Yo! What the f?
No, what the f?
What the f was this shit about? Oh shit! Holy! Run! Yo, what the fuck? Swing on him like that?
Alright, folks, so there you have it. There you have it. Lawless NYC. Alright, let's get into this next article. Bronx judge orders 3 violent inmates released due to coronavirus. A Bronx judge on Wednesday released 3 inmates in concerns over coronavirus jails. Justice Martin Marcus, probably a Democrat. That's why I don't like some of these Democratic judges. Weighed the fate of 18 prisoners, including 9 assault-accused murderers, before opening to set 3 of them loose. The 3 released were identified as Rufus Anderson, who was held in a parole violation, Alberto Santos, charged with identity theft and grand larceny, and Giovanni Street, who was in jail on attempted assault, burglary, and resisting arrest. The Bronx defenders had filed a request with the court last week that all of the inmates be released due to the spread of the deadly coronavirus. At least 273 inmates and 321 correctional officers at city jails have tested positive for the virus, including an inmate who died earlier this week at Rikers Island. So, let's see if I can find that other video I wanted to find on Mark Simone's page. Mark Simone, W-O-R. Because I know he always updates his website. Let's see if we can find it. Here's something. This is what happens when you call the mental health hotline. Let's watch this video very quickly.
Hello and welcome to the Mental Health Hotline. If you are obsessive compulsive, press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, ask someone to press 2 for you. If you have multiple personalities, press 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you are paranoid, we know what you are and what you want. Stay on the line and we'll trace your call. If you're delusional, press 7 and your call will be transferred to the mothership. If you are schizophrenic, listen carefully and a small voice will tell you which number to press. If you are depressive, it doesn't matter which number you press, no one will answer you. If you're dyslexic, press 69696969. If you have a nervous disorder, please fidget with the hash key until the beep. After the beep, please wait for the beep. If you have a short-term memory loss, please try your call again later. And if you have low self-esteem, hang up. All our operators are too busy to talk to you. Hello and welcome to the Mental Health.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but I kind of found that very funny in a way. Ex-mob boss gives great tips on how to survive total isolation. Watch what it will look like when people come out of quarantine. Yeah, I want to save this for later on my history.
Wait a minute, where you going? Ain't you gonna fix my lunchbox for tomorrow?
Oh! That's why I like the honeymooners. You ever go to the Port Authority and you always see that Jackie Gleason thing in front of it? Okay, here we go. Ah! It's Chris Farley. Okay, I don't want to see that. Ah, okay, here we go. Joe Biden. Now let's see what happens, how Joe Biden falls asleep. Rock-a-bye,
we cannot let
Biden.
this
In the treetop. Democratic capitalist is the only one we got.
we cannot let this. We've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections and at the same time correct the public health.
Okay, I don't know what that was about. So once again, we are waiting for Mr. New Yorkers Love Me. So he should be coming out any minute. Which, he better. He better. Okay? Because if he doesn't, a lot of angry New Yorkers. 19 million people in one state want to hear from our governor. Like I figured, he's late. So what I'm going to do right now is, I'm going to put News 12 Long Island on. And, see where we go from here. So here's a dumb thing. I thought I had, the News 12 Long Island stream on here. Turns out I didn't. Oh! Breaking news! Laura Kern is giving an update! Let's try to join into Laura Kern right now. The only issue is, that's how unprepared I am. Because I thought maybe we can get her on. But Laura Kern is speaking. That's a very good sign. Thank goodness. Now, if only News 12 Long Island would actually cooperate today.
Great news! Univision 41 and News.
No!
News updates completely in Spanish. Join the Emmy Award-winning team, Noticias Univision 41, as they bring you up-to-date news and weather every morning and evening. Simply visit news12.com and click on Noticias Univision 41 for hyper-local news and weather in Spanish, exclusively
It's
on
Español.
on Optimum.
Alright, can we get News 12 Long Island on? Here we go. So I'm not going to watch Laura Curran live right now. Here we go. If it'll even
Consciousness that we
cooperate.
do have health disparities already in our county and in our state.
Once again, we are having problems with News 12 Long Island. I thought I put it on. Alright, so we'll just have to go back to Cuomo, and then I'll play Laura Curran later on, I guess, if I can find the video archive. Yes, because Andrew Cuomo is supposed to be live right now. So let me see if I can get him on again. I had the feed, and we lost Andrew Cuomo's feed. See if it'll come back on. Yeah, because the honest thing was, Laura Curran just came out. Alright, 12:30. Once again, Mr. New Yorkers Love Me is running late. Late. Come on out, Andrew Cuomo. We want you. We want you. There was a funny video I saw on YouTube yesterday. There's a parody song called "We Love Andy." I think he takes the name Mr. New Yorkers Love Me for granted. Doesn't take it for granted. Yeah, here we go.
This is a pandemic. I felt it.
Let's see if I can play the video.
It was a pandemic long before it was called a pandemic. All you had to do is look at other countries.
Stranded in my bedroom, no one to love. Then there he is.
Let's give you an update as to where we are today.
My favorite guy. He's the earth and heaven to your giant, keep it hidden. Honey, we can see the
I don't think it's coming down right now.
Can't you see I'm in quarantine? A nervous wreck and skirt his heck of COVID-19. But you bring hope when I can't cope. I guess I'm saying I love you so. Oh, Andy. Oh, Andy, baby. Someday, when COVID's not a thing, if we're on Earth, for what it's worth, I hope they make you king. You run my state while I gain weight with grace and
we're united, there is nothing you can't do.
Andy, my darling, this global pandemic is scaring me real bad, but watching your daily press briefings sure does calm me down.
Hang on, folks. He's coming right now. Here is Mr. New Yorker's Levy.
Good afternoon to everyone. These are stressful, emotional times, as we know. And today is a day in the state of New York with very mixed emotions based on two very different There is good news in what we're seeing, that what we have done and what we are doing is actually working and it's making a difference. We took dramatic actions in this state. New York Pause program to close down schools, businesses, social distancing, and it's working. It is flattening the curve, and we see that again today. So far, meaning what? Meaning that curve is flattening because we are flattening the curve by what we are doing. If we stop what we are doing, you will see that curve change. That curve is purely a function of what we do day in and day out. But right now it's flattening. The number of patients hospitalized is down. And again, we don't look at just day-to-day data. You look at the 3-day trend, but that number is down. The 3-day average trend is also down. Anecdotally, the individual hospitals, the larger systems are reporting that some of them are actually releasing more people than are coming in, so they're net down. So we see the quote-unquote flattening of the curve. We have more capacity in the hospital system than ever before. So we've had more capacity in that system to absorb more people. The sharing of equipment, which has been really one of the beautiful, cooperative, generous acts among different partners in the healthcare system, has worked. If the hospitalization rate keeps decreasing the way it is now, then the system should stabilize over these next couple of weeks, which will minimize the need for overflow on the system that we have built in at Javits and at the USNS Comfort. So that is all good news. There's a big caution sign. That's if we continue doing what we're doing. If we continue doing what we're doing. We are flattening the curve because we are rigorous about social distancing, et cetera. So if we continue doing what we're doing, then we believe the curve will continue to flatten. But it's not a time to get complacent. It's not a time to do anything different than we have been doing. Remember what happened in Italy when the entire healthcare system became overrun? So we have to remain diligent. We have to remain disciplined going forward. But there's no doubt that we are now bending the curve, and there's no doubt that we can't stop doing what we're doing. That's the good news. The bad news isn't just bad. The bad news is actually terrible. Highest single-day death toll yet, 779 people. When you look at the numbers on the death toll, it has been going steadily up, and it reached a new height yesterday. The number of deaths, as a matter of fact, the number of deaths will continue to rise as those hospitalized for a longer period of time pass away. The longer you are on a ventilator, the less likely you will come off the ventilator. Dr. Fauci spoke to me about this, and he was 100% right. The quote-unquote lagging indicator between hospitalizations and deaths. The hospitalizations can start to drop, the deaths actually increase because the people who have been in the hospital for 11 days, 14 days, 17 days pass away. That's what we're seeing. Hospitalizations drop and the death toll rises. I understand the science of it. I understand the facts and the logic of it, but it is still incredibly difficult to deal with. Every number is a face, right? And that's been painfully obvious to me every day. But we have lost people, many of them frontline workers, many of them healthcare workers, many of them people who were doing the essential functions that we all needed for society to go on, and they were putting themselves at risk, and they knew they were. Many of them vulnerable people who this vicious predator of a virus targeted from day one. This virus attacked the vulnerable and attacked the weak. And it's our job as a society to protect those vulnerable. And that's what this has always been about from day one. And it still is about. Be responsible, not just for yourself, but to protect the vulnerable. Be responsible because the life you risk may not be your own. Those people who walk into an emergency room every day and put themselves at peril, don't make their situation worse. Don't infect yourself or infect someone else so their situation becomes more dangerous. Just to put a perspective on this, 9/11, which so many of us lived through in this state and in this nation, 2,753 lives lost. This crisis, we've lost 6,268 New Yorkers. I'm going to direct all flags to be flown at half-mast in honor of those who we have lost to this virus. Big question from everyone, from my daughters, I'm sure around most people's dinner table. When will things go back to the way they were? I don't think it's about going back. I don't think it's ever about going back. I think the question is always about going forward. And that's what we have to deal with here. It's about learning from what we've experienced, and it's about growing, and it's about moving forward. Well, when will we return to normal? I don't think we return to normal. I don't think we return to yesterday, where we were. I think if we're smart, we achieve a new normal. The way we are understanding a new normal when it comes to the economy and a new normal when it comes to the environment. Now we understand the new normal in terms of health and public health. And we have to learn just the way we've been learning about the new normal in other aspects of society. We have to learn what it means, global pandemic, how small the world has actually gotten. Someone sneezes in Asia today, you catch a cold tomorrow. Whatever happens in any country on this globe can get on an airplane and be here literally overnight. And understanding this phenomenon and having a new appreciation for it, how our public health system has to be prepared, and the scale to which we need a public health system. Look at the way we're scrambling right now to make this work. We have to learn from that. I think we've also learned positive lessons. We've found ways to use technology that we never explored before. You have a New York State court system that, thank you, Chief Judge, is basically developing a virtual online court system, which has all sorts of positive benefits going forward. Using technology for healthcare, using technology work from home, using technology for education. I think these are all positives that we can learn. testing capacity, which we still have to develop. That is going to be the bridge from where we are today to the new economy, in my opinion. It's going to be a testing-informed transition to the new economy, where people who have the antibodies, people who are negative, people who have been exposed and now are better, those are the people who can go to work. And you know who they are because you can do testing. But that we've all developed a sense of scale over the past few weeks in dealing with this. There's also lessons to be learned. Why are more African Americans and Latinos affected? We're seeing this around the country. Now, the numbers in New York are not as bad as the disparities we see in other places across the country, but there still are apparently disparities. Why? Well, comorbidity, I understand that, but I think there's something more to it. You know, it always seems that the poorest people pay the highest price. Why is that? Why is that? Whatever the situation is, natural disaster, Hurricane Katrina, the people standing on those rooftops were not rich white people. Why? Why is it that the poorest people always pay the highest price? But let's figure it out. Let's do the work. Let's do the research. Let's learn from this moment, and let's learn these lessons, and let's do it now. We're going to do more testing in minority communities, but not just testing for the virus. Let's actually get research and data that can inform us as to why are we having more people in minority communities, more people in certain neighborhoods. Why do they have higher rates of infection? I get the comorbidity. I get the underlying illness issue. But what else is at play? Are more public workers Latino and African American who don't have a choice, frankly, but to go out there every day and drive the bus and drive the train and show up for work and wind up subjecting themselves to, in this case, the virus, whereas many other people who had the option just absented themselves. They live in more dense communities, more urban environments. But what is it? And let's learn from that, and let's do it now. I'm going to ask our SUNY Albany Chief, Dr. Javidan Rodriguez, to head an effort to do it right now. We'll do more testing in minority communities now, with more data research done now. So let's learn now. Department of Health will be doing it along with Northwell. But let's learn these lessons now. We're also going to make an additional $600 payment to all unemployed New Yorkers. The federal government says they will reimburse us for it, but people need money now in their pocket. So New York will be doing that immediately. We're also extending the period covered by unemployment benefits for an additional 13 weeks, goes from 26 weeks to 39 weeks, so that should be a relief. On voting, I've seen lines of people on television voting in other states. This is totally nonsensical. God bless them for having such diligence for their civic duty that they would go stand on a line to vote, but people shouldn't have to make that choice. And where, by executive order, all New Yorkers can vote absentee on June 23rd, primaries coming up. I want to say thank you to the many places and people who are working with the state of New York. Mercury Medical donated 2,400 BiPAP machines. BiPAP machines are technically not ventilators, but they can be modified to effectively ventilate, even though they're not ventilators, and we're using them. They were brought up from Florida. Thank you very much, JetBlue, for doing that. I also want to thank Oregon and Washington State and California for freeing up ventilators. I want to thank the direct care workers who are doing a fantastic job, and they're doing it every day. I want to thank the state workers who are showing up and doing a great job every day, every first responder. This has been a long battle, and it's going to go on, but I want them to know how thankful we all are of them for what they're doing. I want people to remember that we're flattening that curve, and if anything, we double down now on our diligence. We're going to start a social media campaign. Who are you staying home for, right? It's not about staying home for yourself. Stay home for others. Stay home for the vulnerable people who, if they get this virus, are in a really bad place in life. Stay home for the healthcare worker who's in the emergency room because you don't want to infect anybody else, who then puts another greater load on our healthcare system. So who are you staying home for? I'm staying home for my mother. But everyone, it's not about just you, it's about all of us. So who are you staying home for? And we'll start a social media campaign that does that. But thank you to all the New Yorkers for all they've done. And we still have more to do. We are by no means out of the woods. And do not misread what you're seeing in that data and on those charts. That is a pure product of our actions and behavior. If we behave differently, you will see those numbers change. I just doubled the fine on disobeying the social distancing rules. Why? Because if anything, we have to get more diligent, not less diligent. And we have more to do. And that's New York, tough. But tough is more than just tough. Tough is smart and disciplined and unified. And tough is loving. The toughest guys are tough enough to love, right? Last point, our brothers and sisters in the Jewish community celebrate Passover tonight. We wish them all a happy Passover. The Jewish community has had a long and difficult year besides any of this. The number of incidents of anti-Semitism across this country, the violence that they have seen, even in this state of New York that has such a large Jewish population. So we wish them all well on Passover. And the message of Passover, I know, helps me today, and I offer it to others to consider. Passover says we remember the past, we learn from the past, we remember the lessons of the past, we teach a new generation those lessons. But there's also a message of hope in Passover. Next year in Jerusalem, next year in Jerusalem, next year the Promised Land, next year will be better. And yes, this has been a difficult month. We'll learn a lot, we'll move forward, and we'll be better for it. Questions?
All right, so that was, hair's having a problem. That was Mr. New Yorkers Love Me himself. Not again, what? Sorry about that. Anyhow. I have some good news, folks. I have tape of Laura Curran once again, so I will get to that tape in just a second. Also, do I have the tape of the Cuomo song? I might get the Cuomo song. I don't know. I have a way to do it. So let me put me back And I'll put the Cuomo song back. It's called And oh boy, can't even download it. I'll try 720. Can I try 720 at least? Come on. There we go. I want to keep everything offline because, you know, if it's online, then I notice my internet goes down. Yeah, 1 minute. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. But if you are curious, folks, go on fast.com and it tells you how fast your internet... Jeez, my camera's not focusing. Your internet connection goes along. But yeah, if I keep moving, the camera has to keep focusing, which sucks. But yep, that's reality for yours truly. But there were 2 takeaways, I guess, from the press conference. And we'll put the computer on full screen. Do that right now. I think we can. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That's not it. Do apologize. Biden 2020. Okay, so all flags in New York State will be flown in half-mast in honor of those people who we have lost to the coronavirus. And then I think I'm wondering what this means. So all New Yorkers can vote absentee. So what I'm left wondering is there a possibility that I could still do an absentee ballot in June? I'd have to look into that. If I can't get to a polling place, then. Because Trump's voted absentee. We all know how that's ended up. Okay, let me just put my computer screen back on. I do apologize. Yes, I have to get the file out of my phone of Laura Curran. Okay, here we go. It's not what I have in mind. 4-6. That doesn't help me. Hang on. Whoa, folks. I don't even have the file. That stinks. I gotta resync everything. It's not good. Okay. I know I had the tape. I know I had it. Or I could always put the Andy file on the offline app. I can just add the file. Nope, we don't want that. New. There we go. There we go. Okay, let me just get the iPhone out, and then we'll play the files, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, first file. Whoa. Okay, we don't want that to open. Whoa.
This is a pandemic.
There we go. Let me just clear up everything, and then we'll be back to normal. All right, so here is the Mr. New Yorkers Love Me parody.
I felt it was a pandemic long before it was called a pandemic. All you had to do is look at other countries.
Stranded in my bedroom, no one to love. Then there he is.
Let us give you an update as to where we are today.
My favorite guy. He's the earth and heaven to you. Try and keep it hidden. Honey, we can see right through you. Andy, can't you see I'm in quarantine? A nervous wreck and skirt as heck of COVID-19. You're not nice coronavirus, but you bring hope when I can't cope. I guess I'm saying I love you so. Oh, Andy. Oh, Andy, baby. Someday, when COVID's not a thing, if we're on Earth, for what it's worth, I hope they make you king. You run my state while I gain weight with grace and dignity. Oh, please be my dad. Oh, Andy.
And when you are united, there is nothing you can't do.
Andy, my darling, this global pandemic is scaring me real bad. But watching your daily press briefings sure does calm me down. The way you manage to lead and inform without terrifying the living shit out of me or straying from the facts, and still find time to nurture my delicate spirit with adorable slideshows and relatable anecdotes about meatballs. You're wise, level-headed, eloquent, and sexy at a time when the country needs it most. It sure is a refreshing change from that oh gee, I won't get into specifics. You know I don't like to be political. I guess what I'm trying to say, Andrew, is that you're my number one Cuomo now. And whatever you decide to be once this whole thing blows over, whether it's governor of New York or president of the United States or ABC's next Bachelor, I'm with you now, Andy, only you. Even as I continue to light a candle, get naked, and pray every night for the speedy recovery of your brother, my first love, Chris. With his tight, wet t-shirts and his sweaty Instagram workout videos and his big, muscular... You know, actually, I'm still really into Chris, too. Oh, Andy, baby, you're so strong and rational. From now on, I identify as homosexual. You're kind and smart. You touch my heart. Your polo shirts are nice, so I'm glad we've had my Andy.
We on the air right now. Okay, we are on the air. We're on the air. I'm like, what happened? I wanted to continue. And then all of a sudden, the video cut out. Let's see. Am I live right now? I'm just double checking. Yeah, it cut off. It cut off. I do apologize, folks. I don't know what happened. We are on the air right now. Yeah, my phone's having a problem. I'm trying to see what happened. My internet probably went out when... I'm just trying to see if we can get back on. I don't know what happened, folks. Let's see. I don't know what happened. I mean, all of a sudden... That doesn't help me. Okay, I'm very confused right now. Are we on the air? Are we on the air right now? I don't see myself on the air. Unless... Hang on.